Hi everybody. Several students have asked questions about what a peer-reviewed article is, and so I can start with some examples of what it is not. One of my favorite sites of all time is Disability is Natural. It's one of the sites we recommend when we're looking at People First Language, but this is not a peer-reviewed site. As much as I respect the information Kathy Snow has collected and the articles that she has, the information about People First Language, it's not a peer-reviewed article. So that's an example of what it is not. Don't use a website of any kind. What you need to use when you are doing something like an annotated bibliography that calls for peer-reviewed professional journal articles, that's something very specific, so it can't come from one of the websites. I will show you though where you can find it and should go. So I'm going to open up my browser and I'm going to go to EKU's website, and I'm scrolling down until I find the EKU libraries. So I'm on the main page for the library, and I'm going to choose a specific topic. So I'm going to choose preschool inclusion transition. So choose some keywords that will help you get to the right place, and then click Go. And once I click Go, it's going to pull up a bunch of sources. Now, not everything that is pulled up is going to work for me, but if I look over here and I notice that there are tons and tons and tons of resources so far pulled, it says 752 results, and I don't have time to go through 752 results, but I can use this sort by column. And the first thing I'm going to do is come over here, and where it says peer reviewed, this is the big bingo. This is what you need, peer reviewed. So I'm going to click on that peer reviewed. And also I know that I only want peer reviewed articles. So I'm going to add that further narrowing down. So now my filters are peer reviewed and articles, and my search cut in half. And when I come over here and I'm looking at the articles, I want you to notice that not only does it have this little piece of paper and it says it's an article, it tells me when it was published, 2014, and in the assignment description it says it has to be within the last 5 years. So I want to make sure that I meet that criteria. And then here I see this little guy with a check mark in him and the words peer reviewed. This is exactly what I need. So the article title is Towards Inclusion, Provision for Diversity in the Transition to School. I'm going to quickly scan and say Policies of Inclusion challenge the construct of readiness and require schools to prepare for diversity. Well, that's not exactly sounding like a positive article about transitions and kids with disabilities, but I'd like to see what they have to say anyway. So I am going to click on this Access Online, and if I do this, it's going to say, bing, bing, you need to sign in. So you're going to use your EKU username and sign in, and once I sign in to the library, to the EKU services, then I come over here and it's got all the information about this article. So I would recommend, I usually screenshot this information because this is going to help me get my APA reference. If I look over here on the right though, I do have an option that says Cite, and if I click on this and it says export to one of the different services, then I can follow the directions to do that. So that's an excellent way to get to my APA references, which are right here, APA references, and maybe I want to move it I want it really just to make it in a text that I can pull, but you can choose one of these formats and say, yep, that'll work for me, to an RIS format. Alrighty. So I'm going to open this, and I think I'm going to try and open it with preview if I remember correctly. I can do that. So I'm going to hit open with preview. Okay, let's see what we've got. Is this APA style? It's supposed to be. And while it thinks about opening that, the other thing I want you to notice is it says that I can download this as a PDF full text. So when I click on this, it's going to let me download the article, and then I'm going to save it to my computer so that I have this article for future reference. If I'm having trouble coming up with other articles. Say what I looked for in the library just didn't have enough. A good way to find additional articles is to know, well, this article is pretty good and these researchers had to use a literature base to write their article. So if I go to their references at the end of their article, I'm going to see a whole lot more articles that meet somewhat like this topic. So I might be looking through this and I say, ooh, okay, this is a book because it was edited by the International Journal of Early Years Education, Trends in the Construction of Transition to Schools in 3 Western Regions. That sounds like it might meet my topic. So then I could go and see, is this within the right frame of time? Nope, that one's too old. And so I'm going to keep looking through and see what I can find. But often I find additional good articles by looking at the references from an article that I like. So I hope that helped you organize and figure out where you need to go and what you need to do. Know that our EKU libraries are fantastic sources. We've got up here Chat with a Librarian. There's all kinds of ways to talk to the librarians, go on campus to meet with the librarians, but you definitely can connect with them digitally. They're always happy to help. Make sure that you're always looking for this peer-reviewed symbol and that you're following the information about the article and when it was printed. If you've got questions, let us know. Happy to help.